Reaction to these unfolding developments. I am joined now by Ntsikelelo Breakfast, who is a political analyst from the Nelson Mandela University. Thank you so much for your time this evening, sir. Just to give us a sense as to what this judgment is going to now mean, of course, for this conference moving forward. And quite interestingly enough, it seems that the battle right now is between Oscar as well as the other candidate.
Yeah, first of all, I'm not taken aback by the turn of events. I saw it coming that the application was going to be struck off the roll because I was not convinced by the argument that was put forward by the legal team of the applicant. The argument was not well structured and watertight. And I think they should not have done that. But I do understand that normally the rationale behind these applications is to basically, express unhappiness about the failure of the internal quality control measures of the ANC. But this one, I think there were some underlying factors because it is alleged that some people at HQ might have been involved in this. So this has two political implications. First of all, I think it might have a political meaning that, the other faction is likely to lose. And the second implication is that it might have a spillover on the psychological makeup of the delegates at the venue, because when the news is broken to them, I think it will do something to them psychologically, and maybe they might, consider to throw in the towel and vote for the other faction. Hence, I'm saying that I think it was something that was not thought through.
This issue of credentials seems to be coming up at every single one of these elective conferences. What exactly is the issue? Why can the African National Congress at this stage not seem to be able to get all of these issues resolved before going to conference?
Yeah, I think politics is the art of the possible and politics is fluid. I think the turn of events was the announcement that was made this morning by the coordinator of the PTT that some of the branches that were left out in the beginning now will be allowed. So that was a psychological booster for Oscar Mabuyane. No wonder the other faction panicked, and then took it upon themselves to initiate this political move. Because I think at the moment, I think we can see which way the wind is blowing because the dust has settled, in my opinion. I'm not saying anything, but I won't be surprised if Oscar wins.
Now, of course, we're building up, Mr. Breakfast, to the national conference that we're expecting in December. Are we going to most likely see a similar pattern there?
In terms of what?
In terms of credentials being an issue, in terms of some factions going to court?
No, of course, because politicians in general, they don't want to let go of political power, because if you have political power, then it means that you are protected. The forces of RET, they were in power at some point, so they know the meaning of holding political power. Hence, they want to bounce back. So they will try their level best to bounce back to the helm of power. On the other hand, the Ramaphosa faction, they've been entrenching hegemony. They've been consolidating their base, their grip. So definitely they will want to let go of that. So the issue of credentials is going to be under the spotlight every time conferences are held. So yes, we'll see a similar trend throughout.
Now, Aviwa Mdila spoke to one of the officials from the ANC just after that court ruling, who alluded to the fact that they believe that youth league members are being used to disrupt these conferences, going to court without necessarily, having their ducks in a row. Do you agree?
Well, I'm working on the fence on that score, but I understand where the allegation comes from, because some of the senior members of the ANC are sort of like, financing the lifestyle of young people, and he who pays the piper calls the tune. Money is not for free. Money talks. You give money in exchange for something. So there is an economic exchange between young people and some of the senior members of the ANC.
Now, let's look ahead in terms of the ANC's so-called renewal project. Are we seeing somewhat moves in the right direction? Are these conferences showing us that the slate that seemingly wants to fix the issues within the ANC is moving in the right direction?
With regard to the Eastern Cape Conference, neither of them is concerned about enhancing unity, renewal, promoting development for the majority of people in the Eastern Cape. Both of them were part of the previous PEC. I think both of them, they just want to use political capital in pursuit of access to resources in order to have upward social mobility. So I don't expect any substantive changes if Oscar or Ntsikelelo wins.
Now, you alluded to the fact that you don't want to, of course, count your chickens before they hatch, but it does look as though Oscar might be taking this one. We are showing our viewers some of those live visuals from earlier on during that conference. What do you see unfolding over the next couple of hours? Will we see voting taking place possibly overnight?
I presume that is going to happen if things go according to plan. But at the same time, I do anticipate that the other faction might walk away or try to collapse the conference. Yes, I understand that the security has been tightened in order to prevent what had happened last time in terms of the Festival of Chairs. But tightening security doesn't mean that, there won't be any outbreak of conflict. You must remember, most conflicts within the ANC are caused by frustrations. So normally frustrations, they lead to aggressive behavior.
But maybe just speak to me about what does this mean about the state of the ANC, the fact that there are security concerns at these conferences, that, we need more tightened security. What does it say about exactly how dangerous the political landscape has gotten?
Well, I think there are threat perceptions. I think the behavior of some people who are aggressive, it poses danger, to the organization. The ANC is a political battleground. Some people want to ascend to power at all costs. Some also even want to erode, the practice of democracy, so long as they achieve their objective.
Thank you so much for that. That is political analyst Ntsikelelo Breakfast from the Nelson Mandela University. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Now,